Hey, this is Matt. Once again, we're about to another video. This is another paid request, this time from MegaPorkChopExpress. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting pretty much any type of other videos, feel free to send either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box under the video. And this is for an episode of the TV show House MD. In particular, Season 4, Episode 11, because from what I understand, this was the episode that got the highest ratings. I think it did that because it was the episode right after the Super Bowl, and at least the post game. So yeah, a lot of people hyped. Hey, we're just having fun. With the TV still on, oh, we'll watch the next show afterward. But it's actually a pretty good episode as well, where you have Mira Sorvino from Mimic, The Replacement Killers. She guest stars in it, where she's in the South Pole. She has an injury, not sure what it is, but it's a blizzard, can't leave there. She can't use too much equipment because she wants that for other people who are hurt. And so House and his team have to diagnose what's going on via a Skype call and figure out what is going on. Does she have cancer? Is there something else going on? What's the deal? It does symbolize why I enjoy this show, and I do enjoy the show. House MD would be my top 20 favorite shows of all time. It would. I try to remember when I first saw it. I actually have all the DVDs over there. I forgot to bring them over here though. And it stars Hugh Laurie as Gregory House, who is a guy who's brilliant. He's like Sherlock Holmes, but he has a sarcastic wit, kind of like Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man, and at times even a lot more cynical. So he's brilliant, but he has this leg pain, and to him he's always in pain, so he's always taking his Vicodin. And he's a guy who... he's the type of guy who will kind of push people away. Mira Sorvino says it best. I'm trying to remember the exact dialogue where he says, sorry, I'm trying to find the best way to put it. You look at you say that people don't change. You say that people don't change and they never get better. They can't be decent human beings. Well, maybe that's because if they did, it would showcase how much of an asshole you were. She doesn't say asshole, but that's pretty much the case. That he's at times making other people miserable because he's miserable, and that he has this kind of humanity. I challenge humanity. A lot of people are greedy and they think about themselves, but he's doubtful of people being that purely innocent or purely good because, number one, there are a lot of hypocrites in the world, and he calls them out on it, which is fun a lot of times when he does that. But also, it's like he feels he doesn't deserve any good stuff going on, or the fact he's kind of stuck in this misery rut. And it's kind of weird, like the biggest case he can't solve is himself, the guy out of this misery rut. And all the trials and tribulations go through that. But it's also a very funny show at times, and a very sarcastic show. And what I love about it, I love the mysteries involved. It is each week a Sherlock Holmes type of mystery, only it's in a hospital, and all these weird symptoms. People get these weird, crazy symptoms, and I can't even say it right, symptoms, and what is going on, and they try this out, that didn't work, they try this out, maybe they do this, and it's easy to understand, it doesn't get confusing, but at the same time, it's, whether it's real or not, it's very intriguing to watch. But again, it's also funny, and the characters, the actors work well. Hugh Laurie, I think did a fantastic job. It's definitely an interesting, intriguing character because he's very unpredictable. You don't quite know what he's going to do next. And he does do enough good throughout the show, but there are times, oh man, he just acted like an ass. But at the same time, he's such a curious individual that it's easy to keep watching, and he'll at times challenge the system because he knows he's right, and he comes to find out he's right. And also, he had a good supporting cast around him. Hugh Glory did. There's his best friend who deals with a lot of stuff, played by Robert Sean Leonard, who I like. He was in this movie called My Best Friend is a Vampire. He's been in other stuff too. He plays the character Wilson. You have Omar Epps. And when the show starts, for the first 3 or so seasons, it's pretty much his team, Omar Epps, Jennifer Morrison, and this guy, I believe his name is Jesse Spencer. And the three, they challenge House, and House challenges them, and they work as a team to try to solve these riddles. And there's also very flippant, fun dialogue, and this is a very cynical Sherlock Holmes. To me, it was a cool formula. And each week, it's interesting to see what would happen next. You got some guest stars, like John Cho was in one episode, and like Mira Sorvino was in this episode, and it was cool to see like who would pop up next as a guest star. And then by this point, this is season 4. The overarching story is by around the end of season 3 or so, the old team were split up. House is like, okay, well, I need a new team. So he had this goal of, okay, here's all these people. You don't do these tests. Break it down. I'm trying to remember if that started at the end of season 3 or the beginning of season 4. Again, it's been a while since I've seen the whole show. But by this point, it got down to 3 people he wanted. This guy named Taub, I can't pronounce. Olivia Wilde, which is the first time I saw her. She would later be in Cowboys and Aliens, Tron Legacy. But I saw her in this, and I thought she did a good job. And Cal Penn. Speaking of John Cho, Cal Penn. And he was on the show for a little bit. And then he was gone because a bit time later, he got the job. Cal Penn actually works at the White House. I forget his actual job title, or at least he did work there when Obama was in office. So he's not working there now, but I don't think he is. Maybe he is. I don't know. But when Obama was in office, he was working with the White House, so he had to leave the show. But at this point, you had Cal Penn, and again, the actors do their jobs rather well. And in this episode, like I said, Mira Sorvino, she's not by herself, but very small group out in South Pole. They can't get anywhere. They can't get to a hospital. And it is a combination of this fun, cynical humor. Like House is pissing someone off. Oh, I was hitting on his wife. You know? No, I thought I was hitting on his daughter. And what was cool in this episode is that Mira Sorvino doesn't back down and actually kind of almost like a female House, but not quite, to the point that you could tell House is impressed by her, even starts to like her, like likes her toughness, likes her no bullshit radar. House goes, oh, I bet you're as pure as the driven snow. And she goes, only if the snow likes to be on top. I thought that was pretty fun. Or, what was another one? There's a point where a guy there has to drill a hole in her head. And he's nervous. And House goes, well, if it goes through the other side, you've gone too far. But yeah, I thought that was entertaining. Again, it's cool to kind of try to figure out these medical mysteries with the drama and humor mixed in together. And it was cool with these twists and turns because obviously, for the most part, it's not going to be settled by the end of it. So you just say it gets to a formula, but it's a fun formula. It's an entertaining formula. So Mira Sorvino has to do stuff like, you gotta stab yourself in the lung to help breathe, or is it cancer? Oh, you gotta do cancer. Oh, but a biopsy. Oh, it's not cancer, but her kidney's going to shit. So what else could it be? And again, in the realm of the show, it was cool in this episode because House, you could really see the concern he had for her. Listen, I'm not gonna let you get okay. You're gonna be okay, all right. For example, he asks her, "Are you okay?" And Robert Sean Leonard looks at him weird. Then afterward, wait a minute, you never ask people. Hell, you never asked me if I was okay, and I fell down the stairs when I was drunk. So that's what I mean. It's likable characters, fun interplay. When you watch them in a row, you get interesting. I would say it fell apart a little bit when it got to around season 7 or 8. And the last season was 8. And sadly, that happens with a lot of shows. It wasn't as much of a clusterfuck compared to others. It wasn't like the X-Files revival, season 10 and 11. It wasn't like Sliders. Remember that TV show Sliders with Jerry O'Connell, where the last couple seasons were so atrocious. It ruined the show for me. It just completely ruined the show because, oh, well, John Rhys Davies is killed. Then that one girl's taken, and she died off screen. And now Jerry O'Connell disappeared, but no, he merged here, and now it's played by a different actor. And then it ended on like a cliffhanger, and they ruined the fucking show, man. It's not like that at all, but there are little annoyances. Like, okay, the off tangent. Season 8, there's a character that I thought was very important. The head of the hospital, her name was Lisa Cuddy. And her and House had this friction. Will they, won't they? But it was a friction. It was a fun bit of business. And then, I don't know if they didn't want to pay her the money or something else. She wasn't in season 8. That I thought was a big mistake. I did. And, so, I mean, there's certain things that I wasn't really big on, but I could still watch season 8. It wasn't awful or atrocious. And even the series finale, I've seen way, way, way worse. It still was fine. You know, they didn't do something incredibly stupid or dumb, in my opinion. You know, it's like, okay, you know, it didn't ruin the show at all for me. Like, okay, you know, it's fine. You know, I don't want to give too much away. It's really not that bad. It just, there's certain things I wish dot the I's and cross the T's, dot the T's, cross the I's on. And spoiler alert, again, the reveal is cool. The reveal is cool, like I was trying to say, is that you find out that, oh, it's fat embolism. Her toe was frozen and was broken. And because it was so frozen, and there was a physical examination, but she didn't take her socks off, she didn't feel the pain of her toe. And because her toe was broken, it was so broken for so long, little fat kind of went up the bloodstream, and, well, if you fix the toe, you'll be fine. And that's, again, that's Sherlock Holmes mystery, but done in the medical field, but done in, it's not drab or bland or boring. Again, with the House character made it exciting because you did not know what would happen next. Was he going to flip out and break something? Was he going to be, he's a fun smartass. I think he's kind of like Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man. That type of sense of humor. Again, just even a bit more cynical than that. That was the fun of the show. I would say the first 4 seasons are the strongest, but I could watch the other seasons. And even when the episode ends, because he's digging into his friend, Robert Sean Leonard, like, you have a new girlfriend. How come you didn't tell me? And Robert Sean Leonard looks at him and goes, well, the thing is, and he just runs off, and you see him running through the lobby, running out the door. And it's like, House is like, oh, fuck, man. And at the end, you find out who the new girlfriend is. It was another one of the possible recruits for his team. This character named Amber, who got the nickname Cutthroat Bitch. For, if you watch those episodes, understandably so. And Wilson is like, yep, but I call her Amber. Let's see. Yeah, I always liked the show. I like the opening. I believe the song is Teardrop by Massive Attack. I thought it was simple but effective. It's a well-shot show. It was created by a guy named David Shore. And they probably don't want to mention this nowadays, but the first episode was directed by Bryan Singer. And he was a co-executive producer for a bit. Of course, Bryan Singer, I've heard stories as a P to the E to the D to the O's. Bryan Singer, I don't know. I don't know if there's been proof of that. I don't know. But I'm sure that's something they won't mention nowadays. But yes, he did direct. He was a executive producer, and he did direct like the pilot episode. I think people, someone's going to say, well, what's the difference between him and Victor Salva? Number one, because I don't know if the Bryan Singer stuff has been proven. Victor Salva's been proven because he filmed himself dealing the lead kid of his fucking film called Clown House. He filmed it. I don't know if there's been proof of it. Also, one of my other issues with the Jeepers Creepers, especially the ones he directed, is that he puts that shit in the movies. He has a character named the Creeper sniffing a guy's underwear. He has a creeper in a sequel licking the window and winking at guys. And the director literally camera fucking shirtless guys who are sunbathing on top of a school bus. It's like almost ready to brag about it on camera. So, opposite of this. So, again, for people who asked. But yeah, I do enjoy the show. This was, I thought, a fun episode, a worthy episode. And it reminded me why I enjoyed the show in the first place. Because I've been so busy with life and everything else. I haven't watched the show in a while. You know, I got the DVDs over there, but it's a fun show. Very entertaining show. So, with that said, I recommend it. I really do recommend it. Even if you don't, it might not be my cup of tea. I do think people would really enjoy the show. Because I think it's got a good cast. It's 40-some minutes long a piece. I think it's got really interesting mysteries and a fun sense of humor. And an interesting lead character. And Hugh Laurie, like I say, he does a great job as the lead. I don't think it will ever be topped in his future endeavors. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.